Right, we are here to do star number 5. That means you've done 4 other stars already. If you haven't, don't worry, you can still catch up on those videos a little bit later on. But if you've done all 5, Ellie, I know, it's amazing. 5, that means you are going to get a Superstar First Aider certificate. Isn't that amazing, Ellie? 5 stars. So that means they know how to cope with someone that's got a ouchie. Remember, ouchie? It's code red. You also know how to deal with someone who you can't wake up. You also know how to deal with someone that you can't wake up and isn't breathing. I know it's quite serious. And also you know how to deal with someone that's choking and how to use an AED. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. So star number 5, what you need for this star is some access to some water, which is why I'm here in the kitchen near some water, and also a plastic bag or some cling film, something you can use to cover a ouchie. Okay, but not the same type of ouchie we talked about earlier. We're talking about a hot ouchie. So I'm going to use a plastic bag or cling film. Don't worry, if you haven't got anything like that around today, you can pause this video later and try again and show me how you can treat burns a bit later on, okay? So you can just watch or you can copy me. We don't mind what we do we, Ellie? No, we don't mind. Okay, let's go. So Ellie's here to help me. You might see Lulu popping up in the background every now and then. She's too busy trying to chase my cat Poppy. And I've also got Fred, who I'll introduce you to later. We met him earlier, I think that was on star 2, maybe star 3 you met Fred. But I've got Fred to help me out a little bit later on. Fred actually scared me this morning, didn't he, Ellie? Okay. Oh, Lulu. Lulu's attacking the door now. Right, burns. What is a burn, Ellie? Do you know what a burn is? Ellie does. But let's talk about what can burn us. Can you think of things that can burn us? And I've got some clues. If I just move to the side over here, I've got some clues on the kitchen side there of things that can burn us. Ellie, can you think what can burn us? Or anyone else, can they think what can burn us? Some clues over here. You're going to tell me first, Ellie? Yes, you're right. Ellie says hot surfaces like irons. They can burn us. And what other hot surfaces can you touch that can burn us? I know we shouldn't touch them, but sometimes we accidentally touch them. But children, you've got to make sure you try and keep your fingers or any body parts away from anything that can burn us. And remember, we're going to call a burn a hot ouchie today. A burn is a hot ouchie. So we've got to make sure we keep our fingers away from things that can give us hot ouchies, such as the iron. We definitely don't want to be touching that. Or, I know it, or the oven, things like that, quite sore if we touch them. So we have to be very careful when we're getting things out of the oven. And make sure your parents and carers have the oven gloves on when they touch the oven as well. So yeah, hot surfaces, they can burn us, such as the iron and the oven. What else? Well, you saw that as well, didn't you? Yeah, the kettle. So the kettle can also be hot to touch, so that's another hot surface. But if it was on, it could give us steam, and that can burn us. And also, what is inside there? Liquid, such as hot water, or maybe your hot milk, things like that can give us one of those hot ouchies, can't it, Ellie? And so we have to be very careful with anything that's hot because it can give us an ouchie. Okay, another 2 things. I wonder what else can burn us. What about this? The fire. Fire can burn us. I know there's only a very small one, this is a candle, but that can burn us, and we have to be really careful with fire, don't we, Ellie? We do, because with fire, you'll have to put the fire out first of all. Yes, did you learn that at school? Hopefully you would have learned how to do that. So if somebody was on fire, which hopefully it would never be, but if somebody was on fire, we must stop, we must drop to the floor, and we must roll around in order to put those flames out. And I know some of you might have been having some barbecues in this lovely weather, because it's lovely where we are, isn't it? So some of you might be having some barbecues in this lovely weather. Make sure your parents and carers have got things nearby that we can put those fires out with. What can we use, Ellie? Yes, we can use wet towels, or if they've got a fire blanket at home, that's a good idea. Think about if you're having a barbecue at home, make sure you've got something that can put out that fire if we had one, which hopefully we won't because we're always very sensible. But prevention is always better than cure. So with fire, yeah, you need to make sure we put it out. So I'm going to put this one out first, Ellie. Can we blow? Well done. So we put that fire out. Obviously you wouldn't do that with a big fire. That was only a small one. With a big fire, what do we use? Hot towel, well, not hot towels, wet towels or a fire blanket. But let's just move that one out of the way. And other things that can burn us are chemicals and also the sun, which is why Ellie is trying to look really cool today, and she's got her sunshades on and she's got her sun hats because she doesn't want to get burned in the sun. And also, she must make sure she puts lots of sun cream on her nose because that's always gets burned. And she keeps out of the sun during those really hot times. What are those hot times? Can you remember? Yeah, 12 till 3 o'clock. She doesn't want to be outside in our sun between those times because it's really hot then. And she must make sure that when she does go out in the sun, she has her hat on, she has her little sunglasses on, and she's got lots of sun cream on there as well. So thank you, Cara. Yeah, you're right. Hot water, candles, the hot tap. Yeah, water from the tap is also something that can burn us. Okay, so we know what can burn us. We've said hot surfaces, and we've given lots of examples. Steam or any hot liquid, and the sun, fire, and also chemicals. All those things can burn us. Ellie says, what does a burn look like? Shall I show them, Ellie? Now, children, this is not real. This is my neighbours have been helping me this morning put some makeup on my arm to show you. This is kind of what a burn might look like. It goes a little bit red, first of all. So this, remember, we call it a hot ouchie. It's a hot ouchie. But this one's not real, so it's not actually a real ouchie on me. But we're going to pretend it is today. Okay, Ellie? We're going to pretend. So it can go very red. And then what can happen is it can start to blister. A big bubble might appear over it. And we've got to make sure we're really brave. But we've got a hot ouchie this time. So remember, it goes nice and red, and then it will start to blister. And we've got to make sure we stay nice and calm. And then I want you to remember that there's 3 C's. But the very first C we've got to do is cool that burn down. So the first C is cool the burn down. The second C is cover the burn. And the third C is call 999. But that does depend on how bad it is. Okay, so the 3 C's, we're going to cool, we're going to cover, we're going to call. It's like we've got a rap song going on here with your glasses on. And so we're going to cool the burn down, we're going to cover it, and we're going to call. So the first thing we're going to do is cool the burn down. No, we're not going to use an ice pack. Definitely don't use ice, because ice can sometimes burn as well. So we don't want to use ice, no. We're going to cool it down by using water. Now if I come over to this tap over here, we've got hot and we've got cold. Which one do we use? No, we can't use a hot tap, because if we use a hot tap, that's going to make my hot ouchie even hotter, and I'll be crying then. So we can't use the hot tap, and we don't want to use the cold tap either, because actually the cold tap is also very painful. So what we're going to do, we are going to mix the two together. We're going to have cool water, cool, a bit like you with your sunglasses on, Ellie, yeah? And your little baseball hat on. We're going to have cool water. Cool. So we're going to make sure, in order to get cool water, we put a little bit of hot and a little bit of cold. So a little bit of hot, not too much hot, and a little bit of cold. And we just check it first, make sure it's all okay. Oh, that's cool water. That's not too hot and it's not too cold. And then I'm going to make sure I put my arm underneath it for at least 10 minutes. Now I just want to show you, I don't want to put the water straight onto my hot ouchie because it'd be very sore. I'm going to put the water above my hot ouchie so it runs over it, okay? So I'm not going to run it straight on there because it'd be very, very sore. I'm going to put the tap just above my hot ouchie. So let's get this going again. So we're cooling this burn down. Remember, above my hot ouchie, underneath here, and guess how long I'm going to stay here for? I know, I've already told them, 10 minutes. 10 minutes! And I'm going to keep staying here for 10 minutes in order to cool this burn down. It's really important we do that. Now, I'm not going to stay here for 10 minutes at the moment, because otherwise you guys are going to be turning me off, and we don't want that, do we, Ellie? No. But let's just recap what can burn us. Well, I'll do this for a little bit longer, so it's cooling my ouchie down. So let's just recap. We can get burnt by things that are hot, things that are chemical, the sun, ice, fire, steam, and any hot liquids. And when we get a burn, we call it a hot ouchie, don't we, Ellie? A hot ouchie, we must make sure we run it under cool water for 10 minutes. Remember, we cool it, we cover it, we cool 999. So, we're going to cool it for 10 minutes. We're going to imagine that was 10 minutes. But you have to do it properly for a whole 10 minutes. Okay? And then, the arm is all wet, but we must cover it. So, Ellie, can you go get me something to cover it with? Go over there and get me something to cover it with, please. Thank you. Oh, she's come back with a dressing. Like this. We don't want to put this on there because this will stick, so we don't use anything like that. We don't need your scarves or your tea towels, nothing like that. The only thing we can use is cling film. If you haven't got any cling film, maybe you've got a plastic bag or a freezer bag or something like that at home. So I'll just quickly show you with cling film. So the arm is wet, which is great. We don't dry it, we keep it wet, and then we're going to just pull out a bit of cling film from the roll. Hopefully you can also be doing that. And then I'm going to loosely lay it over the top of the burn, like that, and I'll just cut this bit off here. It's easier when you do it on someone else, not so easy when you do it on yourself. And you're going to loosely wrap the burn there. So I'm just going to gently, I don't know if you can see that, just gently pinch the bottom bits here, like that, together. Scrunch. I'm not doing it tight. I don't want to do it too tight. So maybe you can try this on home, on yourself, maybe on your leg. It's probably easier to do on your leg. Or maybe you've got a sibling there you can practice with, or maybe you can do this on your teddy. Don't wet the teddy though. Okay? Just practice loosely wrapping. So it's loosely wrapped. We mustn't put it too tight. If we put it too tight, it'll be very sore on a hot ouchie. And then what we must do is call 999. Now, this one doesn't necessarily need me calling the ambulance for, but if it's all over my body, then I would need to call the ambulance for that. Or if I felt a little bit funny, I would call the ambulance. But this one, I'm going to get my parents and my carers to be able to take me to hospital because they can treat it with their magical bits and pieces. Now, can you remember what to do if I start to feel a little bit faint? Do you remember if I feel a little bit pale, what it is that I need to do? Ellie, can you remember? So if I start to go, oh, I feel a little bit lightheaded, I feel a bit dizzy, can you remember what I do? Ellie remembers. If the face goes pale, you're going to raise the tail. Can you remember how to do that? So I'm going to lay down. Oh, so I'm feeling a little bit dizzy, so I'm going to lay down. Don't know if you can see me, but I'm laying down. I'm going to put my legs up in the air like that, Ellie. Can you keep an eye on me? Okay, I'm going to stand back up again because no one can see me down there, I don't think. So if the face goes pale, we're going to raise a tail. So we could be suffering from shock. So don't forget, to treat a burn, we must cool it, we must cover it, we must call 999, and also you might need to lay them down as well, okay? Remember, you're only going to call the ambulance if it's really bad. Yeah, otherwise you're going to get your parents and carers to take you to hospital yourself because it might be a little bit quicker. Yeah? Now this is a warning, you go to your warning sound. Well, it's not a warning sound, is it? Imagine an alarm bell ringing. Now, please make sure you do not burst any blisters. No. Please do not remove any clothing that is stuck to the burn. No. And parents and carers, this is mainly for you. Do not put anything other than water or cool water onto that burn. Nothing at all. You're only going to put cool water on. Now remember, we're going to cool it for 10 minutes. We're going to cover it with cling film and we're going to go and get it checked out at a hospital or call 999. Do not forget that, okay? Right, Ellie, we're going to move on to talk about electrocutions because electrocutions also burns. Now, Ellie, we're going to just turn this camera around slightly. Now, don't be alarmed, but Fred is just sitting here relaxing, we think. There we go. Can we see Fred? There he is. Right, Ellie, can you remember that saying? We're going to take some of my stuff. I'm going to remember that saying that we did last time. Do you remember? It goes, doctors, A, B, C. Remember that? You go and say hello to Fred over here. No, because you forgot to do doctors A, B, C. D for danger. Have you checked the area for danger? Let's have a look around and make sure we check this area for danger. Look! Danger! Can we see that? Fred is holding on to some wires, which might mean he's being electrocuted. And we can't touch them, because if we touch them, Ellie, we will be attached to them as well, like a magnet. And we don't want to do that. So we must make sure that we turn off the mains. Now children, do you know where the mains is? I know, Ellie knows where mine is. But do you know where yours is? You must find the mains fuse box. And there's a big red switch that you must be able to switch off in order for it making it safe so I can touch Fred. If I don't turn it off, he's going to be electrocuted for a very long time. We don't want that to happen, do we? No. So we're going to go and turn it off. I know where mine is. Mine's in that cupboard just through that door there. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to find it. Yeah. And I'm going to turn off the big switch in here. And I'm going to come back. And as soon as I come back, within about 10 seconds, it's okay to now check for a response. Okay, check for response. We can now touch him. Good, check for response. Is he responding? No response. What's next? Airway breathing. Let's open the airway. Oh, we can see his belly going up and down, can't we, Ellie? Good. So we can actually see the belly go up and down, so we know that Fred here is breathing. Woohoo! Yeah. However, he's got burns. He's got little red ouchies that we need to treat on the hand and on the foot. Can you remember what we need to do for that? Yeah, we're going to cool it, we're going to cover it, and we're going to call 999. And we will call 999 this time, because this time he's being electrocuted, which means that it's not very good. His hair will start standing on end like mine. And also, it's going to upset his heart. So we must make sure we call 999 in this case. So we must cool the burn down. And how do we do that? We cool it under cool water. So we'll take him to the tap, we'll put water over it for 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes. Sometimes we might have to do it for even longer if it's still sore. And when you get an electrocuted burn, what will happen is the burn will go from his hand all the way through his body to his foot. So we must put the foot in water as well, and put maybe the shower over that one as well, and just keep washing it with water. Remember, we don't put them in a bucket, we keep washing it with water. So children, when parents say to you, stop playing with those plug sockets or be very careful with electricity, believe them, because they can cause burns or they can cause you to be electrocuted. So make sure you look after yourself, okay? Right, so then we're going to make sure he's okay. Oh, he's waking up. Hi, Fred. And he's talking to Ellie. We've been treating that for at least 10 minutes, and then we're going to cool it and cover it with a bag, and we're going to make sure that he goes off to hospital. Now that is how to be able to treat burns, and also how to be able to help somebody that is being electrocuted. Remember, if they're being electrocuted, you can't touch them until you've found your mains fuse. Yeah? Yes, I know. They're all going to go and do that. They're going to ask their parents and carers to show them where their fuse board is in the house, so they can be able to find it and they'll be able to turn it off if somebody was being electrocuted, won't you? Yeah, fantastic. Now, thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching all 5 videos, because first aid is so important. I love teaching this. Ellie loves being here. Lulu sometimes makes an appearance. We love doing this in order to be able to help you get the skills that you need to make a difference to everybody in your household. So thank you so much. Ellie, say goodbye to them all. Bye! And Fred's okay as well. He will wave goodbye to you. And thank you. Keep safe, keep well. Bye!